Hey everyone, Jackie K here. Gonna have a little bit more casual of a game and chill than usual. By casual I mean like no Animal Crossing today. Just gonna be this Pokemon Go screen as I take advantage of the last day before the incense spawns. Go from Nincada to whatever Pokemon is next. I mean, I know it doesn't look like Nincada because there's a sticking Venonat on the lure at the particular moment, but trust me, they're a thing and they're gonna be around. But I don't even know if I'm gonna do the whole hour, but part of the reason I wanted to do it in this game is because this is my last chance to get a shiny Nincada before they go away. And I was hoping to actually do a stream revolving around these Nincadas, but it doesn't really look like that's going to be the case. So game and chill it is. Also, I may cut away in the middle of it because I wanted to start the incense as far as I can, because I realized after recording Go Battle it's already 10:30. So if I don't want to be up stupid late, I have to have this incense running now. Otherwise I have to choose between going to bed at a decent hour to the point where I won't be exhausted. Because even though it's the weekend, I still don't like staying up beyond midnight. Just because my body's so used to waking up at 6 a.m. for work and all, that it just really makes me groggy to stay up too late. Because my body pretty much refuses to be up after 8 o'clock in the morning, no matter what time I go to bed. That whole tangent was to decide that I'm running low on water, so I might need to stop the recording and start it back up in the middle of things to actually go address that concern. And I am definitely working against the RNG today. As soon as I catch this little Pidgey, I will show you exactly why that may be. And also, the fact that sound effects we're running on this means that Go Battle recording probably has all the annoying battle sound effects, and for that I apologize. But I ran one of these incense and went around walking in a park, and you'll never guess what I got instead of a shiny Nincada. That's right, 2. Not 1, but 2 shiny Skarmories in that single walk, probably less than an hour apart from each other. I mean, I know Skarmory is one of those Pokemon that they increase the shiny rate of because it's rare, so you're supposed to balance itself out because it's a rare Pokemon, so you won't be encountering it as often as some of the more common Pokemon. But what ends up happening instead is whenever you go to a nest of Skarmories, or a Pokemon that has this encounter rate lower even more, you just can't stop finding the darn Skarmories. You probably don't know JT Valor unless you actually follow Pokemon Go stuff. But him and Shiny Rattata, basically me with Shiny Skarmory at this point. It's quickly becoming the shiny Pokemon outside of a community day or something like that I have the most of. And it's a little embarrassing because I already got the one I want for PvP. I don't really think I got anymore. I think the second most I can think of that I even would have is Sneasel. So I'll ignore that instance Pokemon, just check that real quick. Yeah, I'm up to 4. That's nothing compared to Skarmory. And with Sneasel, at the very least I can evolve it for a second form. At least it's a good Pokemon in the sense of rating as a darker ice type. So if I find myself getting a really good shiny one, and I guess it's the insult and injury on top of the fact of I'm hunting for bugs and I get 2 shinies that have absolutely nothing to do with bug type Pokemon. So there's a lot of little factors like that that just make me a little salty about my current Pokemon hunt. And I think I'll get back into what I'm talking about. But this is what I mean, I don't know how much space I have on my phone. I try to clear out as much as I can. But until I actually upload the videos that I've recorded onto my cloud, I can't really do much about that. So that's another reason I want to pause recordings in the middle of things. Might be more work on the editing side for me. Ironic considering, like, in most cases this would be less editing than Animal Crossing. But for the sake of my sanity, so I can get water, turn on the air conditioning because I'm turning it off while I'm commentating to reduce background noise and all. There's a lot of factors just like take little breaks, especially if I'm going to run this whole incense in the middle of my commentary. Nope, you're not the shiny Nincada I'm looking for. That said, I'll see you all in a sec. And is this the sparkly one we're looking for? Nope. While I'm catching it, this makes a good point because I would like to clip a little bit more to end the video from the battle commentary, because I make a note of like, I've kind of been having a hard time getting back into the recording scene lately, and long story short, like, I've just been really interested in art. There was definitely a period of time where other current events were kind of killing my recording mood, but that's not really an excuse anymore. I'm just like, YouTube's a hobby, and the drawing kind of ties back to the dream. I'm not really inclined on being an artist or anything, but I kind of want to take the idea of building out my dream game world a little more seriously, but there's still like programming obstacles to overcome. So art just feels like an easy way to get back into like world building that, because there's like daydreaming when I got nothing better to do, like at work or at the commute, while still keeping focus on the road and all. But there's also definitely situations where, no, I had a bit of a brain fart there. I want to do something more direct, like, instead of just think about it. Even though, like, brainstorming and all that is good for building it, it kind of does no good to anyone if it's just stuck in my head. So I kind of want to get back to the art for doing overseas stuff and that. It doesn't help that it's also July, which is the month, I should say, that I would normally go up to Con Bravo anyways. And obviously Con Bravo's been cancelled because of current events and all, but I still want to do something for the YouTubers. Usually what I do, for those of you who haven't been following me, usually around July I like make a bunch of art, whether it be physical or digital pieces that I print out, and share them with the YouTubers that I follow, to try to like bring a little bit more of a scene into it all. I don't know, let's see what Callie's got for me. I may have to cut this if it's a souvenir. Nah, it's just a bunch of hyper potions, which I'll take because it's a free heart. I'm so close to getting Callie, my Groudon, to best buddy. Spent all this time getting Callie up to best buddies, and then I saw Hero Vane's video. That kind of, I don't think it was exactly a PvP breakdown of Masters, but it indirectly became one when overviewing Sekrom, the new legendary Pokemon that was introduced. And the fact that he covered Rhyperior but not Groudon is kind of got me worried that like all this stuff about making Groudon useful was all in hype. Like the whole thing about Fire Punch being useful makes me kind of worried that like my initial plan of maxing out my Groudon, teaching a second move, and using my Elite Charge TM to teach it Fire Punch may actually be a bad idea. Anyways, I'm going off the tangents, and I gave my main point across. So, overall, there's been other things in my mind besides video making lately, and I kind of just want to put a little bit more focus on that. So, that's why there was a long period of time that I wasn't recording this time. That's this time's excuse. And I feel like I have a lot of times where I'm just making like large periods of times with recording and take a couple weeks break from it and then go back into it. But just like with how much I record in bulk, it just inevitably happens, which I like because I have a full-time job, so recording in bulk allows me to actually like delegate time between all the other aspects of my life. Did that Caterpie really just run on the first ball? Man, like, imagine if that was a shiny Caterpie. But I'm getting off tangent again. Without a recording on bulk, that kind of thing is just inevitably gonna happen, I suppose. Alright. Now, I'm gonna stop recording off here just so I can have an easy clip. And I'll get back to y'all in a sec. And of course it's not shiny. 2 Nincadas in a row. The incense is actually doing the job I wanted to do. Who would have known? I probably shouldn't even be pinapping these Nincadas. I don't really need more Nincada candies, but they are technically like rare Pokemon that you only see pop up during certain events and all that, so it just only feels appropriate to just go ahead and pinap them while I have the ability to actually get a bunch of them. Now that I actually explained why it's been so long since I record videos, maybe I could actually talk about some of the things that have been on my mind that I've just been dying to talk about on the game show. As I mentioned before, I'm trying to get a little more into art, specifically with doing art to try to like finalize or develop character designs I have, as well as art for Con Bravo and all that. Might be a little while before seeing the latter, so I guess I can spend some time talking about the former. As soon as I see if this one is shiny. This particular Nincada is not shiny. So, I had a game plan to like ease more into this topic, and because I'm kind of concerned that it might be a little heavy. But I'm only making it worse by procrastinating it, so I'm gonna just dive into it. I kind of been like going back and forth in my head of how much do I want to make my fantasy world based in reality, especially for the sake of just getting better representation, and how much I just wanted to take advantage of the fact that it's a fantasy world to do things with these people and characters that you normally wouldn't get it in reality. It just makes me think a lot deeper about a lot of cultural things that I normally wouldn't worry about, because just my mindset is just do what's respectful for people. And I never had a situation where I felt conflicted about choosing. But that makes it sound worse than it actually is. So just like, I guess the best example of like this world that I'm trying to build up is technically not on Earth, but it is like inspired based on another game's world, which might as well just be a fancy ancient time Earth. Pulls out from a lot of elements of old Earth mindsets like alchemy and things like that. And while I'm not really focusing on those things, the fact that the inspiration came from that particular game world is definitely going to influence my world, if only because like characters that I've been building up in my head since childhood before I decided to really push away from just being OCs of that particular video game and being their own characters with their own fleshed out stories and universe and all that. There's definitely some... It would feel a little weird if like I completely outrooted myself from the real world while making this fantasy world, if I'm making any sense. Sorry, like I said in a previous Game and Chill, deep down I'm a coward. Even if it's just a coward of the sense of working with other people or constantly being worried about what other people think. And just the whole culture thing is, especially around like cultural appropriation is a big thing right now, and I just really want to be careful of not stepping on the wrong toes. when trying to be creative. Even though, like, no one really pays attention to me, I shouldn't care, but this is a world that I kind of want to make into a game eventually, so that's my inspiration of why I care so much, even though I don't have an audience now. And I don't think it's, like, a big deal, but it just kind of makes me, like, ponder things like, how much is good representation of minority groups and mindsets, and how much is just, oh, you're just doing it to pander, and you're not doing it because you truly mean it, and things like that. It's a big heavy topic around this time, which doesn't help the minders of why I'm just worrying, I guess is a good word to put it, so much about it. I think I got at least some good creative ideas on my own that I've been doing before, like the Black Lives Matter movement and Pride Month in particular. So it's not like I saw these particular elements being thrown in my face on social media and I feel like I have to actually make these representations. They already existed in my head. But it kind of just like makes me wonder if I should do more. And if I just leave it where it's at, people would complain about it being too little. But at the same time, if I do too much of it, if I add on too much, are people going to complain that I'm just doing it genuinely? I guess is a good way to put it. Like, if you're just doing something because it's trendy to do so, that kind of takes away the genuinely, or however you say that word, it makes it less genuine to actually make representation in your media. If you're just only doing it because it's the popular thing to do right now. And this is why I'm just stuttering so much, because this spot's really deep in my head and I'm not sure how much I actually want to talk about it. But I feel like it's a little bit better to talk about than some of the other things going on in my life, because work hasn't changed too much, unfortunately. I haven't really been able to make any pushes to my life out in other ways, because, like, pandemic's still in, so finding a place to move out to is a little tricky, and I do feel like I jinxed things in the last Game and Chill, because it was like a point of like, oh, there's nothing really showing up at work, and then like, I got stressed, I just got bombarded with really huge amounts of documentations to image, out of the blue, to the point that there was nothing I could really do about it. And a bunch of little things like that. Come on. Anyways, I hope you don't mind if I break away again. I just want to check. I am trying to upload other stuff off my phone, so I get to clear up space to make sure I don't run out of space while recording this Game and Chill. So I'm just gonna hop out now that I checked this worm poll, and I'll be right back in. Sorry editing me. I know you're gonna hate me for this, but I think it is the best thing to do in the long run. Honestly, I'm probably even blowing my concerns of cultural appropriation by mistake without even realizing it, because my only concern is like if I want to like try to diversify OCs I make of people of color by taking advantage of the fact that it's a fantasy world and doing things that normally don't, making designs that aren't really associated with real black people, like dark skin but blonde hair, for example. Like, it's a very rare occurrence in real life, if possible at all. That's just an example I saw from a thing I read up on cultural appropriation. And that's just basically what all my concerns boil down to. Just, if I'm gonna do it, I want to do it right. Trying to tangent away from that, I could swear there's something else I wanted to talk about, but I can't quite think of it. I'm not sure if I'm ready to actually like showcase anything I do with the DLCs. I have been like posting some of the pictures online either like on Twitter or DeviantArt. I think it's been easier to do with DeviantArt just because like that's the art account I have, so I can like set in an album and like set up people's expectations of it being on the main feed and being a high quality post or something. And that does remind me that I gotta actually work on something that I keep putting off. I know that's a thing I can say about a lot of things, but for this thing in particular, one of the things I guess I could be doing in between spawns is actually taking care of this Genesect. Actually finish freaking catching it. But yeah, I made a Twitter account back when I lost the account for my main Twitter. I've been meaning to convert it into like a feed exclusive to updates, usually just like scheduled tweets for when videos go live now, but I could probably also use it for art posts as well. But I also want to show it on the main channel because that's where my quote-unquote audience is at the moment. I can't believe I just caught that Genesect in a Pokeball. Like, that special research has been holding me up for so long because first there's raids, and it was before I haven't really done any raid trains in a while because of COVID. Just slowly easing myself back into raiding it at all. And then I got to the part of the special research where you have to do 15 battles with other trainers, and that was when Go Battle League was down. So my timing is just rather unfortunate, but it's fine, because honestly, the rewards for the throwback special celebration research sucked anyways, so it wasn't really like I was missing out on anything. Sorry, I kinda just turned on my voice because like the white girl accent that I didn't realize I had was showing. I should probably clear out my box, but I'm trying to make it easy on myself and not have to like adjust screen editing in that. Oh, I guess I could just stop the video because I've been having a habit of doing that to run the AC and keep getting water and all that. So why don't I just take another break? Back. And Nincada, you better not run away. I guess it doesn't matter because you're not sparkly anyways. Okay, I'm really gonna try to make this the last cutaway because I'm already eating myself and I'm not even editing it yet. So that's really what's been going on with me. I haven't really been focusing on video editing too much lately because I've been trying to like push myself in other avenues. I doubt I'm gonna be making a video game anytime soon. I did like spend 2 years in game design, like I said, but the reason I spent 2 years in game design and not a full degree in game design was like I got into it and oops, programming doesn't click. And back when I was in college, indie games, like making indie games was not a viable career option. More like a passion project. I mean, granted, it still is, but as I think I said in the past, people like Toby Fox and Matt Make Games kind of just inspired me to think that you can actually make a game by yourself and still have it be good in this day and age. And there's like more indie support between Steam and other consoles embracing it than there ever was. So just all that's kind of just like inspired me to go into it, but I still have to overcome the hurdle of actually programming all of that, most likely by myself. And honestly, that's really, really scary. I figure if I'm too intimidated to do that, I can at least start by just processing what I want the characters to look like, how the game world would work, the mechanics of the game itself. Because I actually have a pretty solid idea of the mechanics of the game. I'm not going to reveal too much here, but there's like a hybrid of a lot of my favorite elements from video games, including Golden Sun, the Mario and Luigi series. It's weird because I don't know if I really should even consider myself a Mario Luigi fan, but I've always liked the idea of making an RPG more engaging through the whole action command system. But kind of wondering like if there's going to be too much in my game to even do actual command stuff. Like, in an ideal world, it would. But for the sake of me sucking at programming, I may have to sacrifice those elements. But that's fine, because there's way more other things. Because I think of, like, Golden Sun. But on top of summons, your allies would have team attacks with each other. And the coolest thing is, like, you'd be able to build up the team attacks, either to learn more of them or just make them more stronger, by just having interactions with each other, kind of like Tales of Vesperia style, but also taking inspirations from Persona 4 and the fact that once you have those conversations, it would actually change things about, I wouldn't say the stats of your characters, but like in Persona, you get extra benefits of using certain allies if you build up their social link. I kind of want to do a similar thing, but instead of like the main character with the side characters, to be your side characters interacting with each other. Like, say the Earth guy hangs out with the girl, Fire girl, for a day, and they talk about things, learn more about. It'd also be a cool way to learn more about the characters as well, because if I'm gonna make essentially a modern day Golden Sun, I want to improve from the flaws. And honestly, like, I don't think a Golden Sun fan would actually like my game idea, just because of it's got the mechanics in the roof, but there's a lot of things that are actually kind of dated about Golden Sun, and one of them is the dialogue. Let's be real, if you play a Golden Sun game, you're more so reading a novel. I know that's kind of true with any RPG, but what's stopping me from actually trying to improve it? So I think like you can put a lot of character development in between these optional dialogues between the characters, and finding lore about the world as a collectible. Like, I know I've seen other video games actually do that sort of thing, where you like explore around the world and pick up like little e-diaries and stuff like that. I think like you can implement something like that in the game. Dark Dawn kind of had an idea of that, but Dark Dawn made the unfortunate mistake of pretty much defeating the whole purpose of the optional collectibles by all the lore you learn from those optional collectibles gets dumped on you within the first hour of the game, if not in the opening cinematic. Ooh boy, if you've never seen like the opening for Golden Sun Dark Dawn, like, Lost Age did it too. I can't get too mad at Dark Dawn, because Lost Age did it too, but Dark Dawn did it even worse with just how much they dumped all the story from the past two games in the opening scene, and I could see why you would have to do that when you have like a sequel to a game series that hasn't had an installment in like 10 years. How long was it even between Dark Dawn and just the past two Golden Sun games? I can't even remember anymore. It's almost been, probably not as long as it's been now between Dark Dawn and any Sign of Life, besides like Ice returning as a Resist Trophy and all that stuff in the Smash Bros. Series and all. It's been a while for both those cases. And I bring that up because my point is, like, you can't make a sequel like that that relies on the events of the past game and not give that information to the player somehow. But I feel like video games have evolved a lot since even Dark Dawn, that there's better ways of doing that. That's the whole point of that tangent. Like, I already had ideas of making my characters have like team attacks and all that. Somewhere along the line, the whole idea of like making those abilities tied to a social link system came to my mind. I was like, of course I gotta do that. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, it's kind of getting to the point where I'm thinking of so much with that element though that it might actually be in-depth in and of itself to replace the whole summon. Because if I have like the whole class customization with, I don't really have time to explain how the class customization works in Golden Sun. But just imagine that in combination with the Golden Sun element of summoning and the team attacks, it just feels like it'd be way too overwhelming on the player, let alone for me to create. So I'm trying, so that's why I think maybe I don't need summons, or I can make summons part of the team attacks. I'm kind of getting carried away with... I'm always thinking of elements of the sequel before the original even comes out. But it's more so just like consolidating ideas of the world into a singular game. Like, before, like, a lot of story elements were like spread between what, in my ideal world, be multiple games, but I'm trying to condense it down a bit. Because I got the main plot planned out in my head of, like, the first, and even, like, I'm kind of even at the point where the second, a lot of these elements that I thought would take forever me to put out, I found a way to, like, condense into the ideal sequel. But I still have to, like, flesh out some things in my head about how the original would work before I get too involved. But, I mean, like I said, a lot of this stuff is done in daydreams that have been happening for, like, over 15 years. So that's why so much of this has already been up in my head, even though I'm only just now starting to talk about it. There's a lot to work out, and honestly, I don't know if it'll ever come to full realization that I want, but I can at least try. If nothing else, I can, like, flesh out some of the characters. There are some pretty cool characters I've been thinking of that would not have been possible for kid me or even pre-college me. Even characters that have been around in my head from the beginning, I feel have just gotten so much more in depth thanks to just being exposed to the whole rest of the world. And I'm not gonna say anything more because a lot of those elements I kind of want to keep a surprise for now, but it'll be fun to talk about in the future. If it wasn't for the fact that I probably have already been rambling for a whole half hour, definitely more, because even with the cuts, there's no way I've cut it away long enough to not have this instance that's been running for an hour. What I'm trying to say is, with this instance running for an hour, even with the cutaways, surely I have half an hour of footage from now. So I think this is a good closing point as any. If I freaking get that freaking shiny bug in some shape or form, I'll add a thing at the end, but kind of losing hope at it. Like, I have been having too much shiny luck this weekend because on top of the 2 Skarmories, yesterday I got myself a shiny Caterpie, which technically is a duplicate already, but I'm not going to complain too much. Because if you look at the Pokedex for Caterpie, like, each one of his shinies are just amazing. You got this beautiful gold that really stands out from the green. For Metapod, you got this fantastic orange red. And with Butterfree, like, you got, like, the green eyes. So, I don't normally collect families of shinies, but Caterpie would be one that I'd be okay with collecting the family of, just because each individual Pokemon is amazing in and of itself. Usually you get, like, one Pokemon that's really cool, or the whole family's cool, but they essentially like the same color scheme. They have the same color scheme. Or you got that one shiny that's like meh, and somewhere else down the line, either the first form or the final evolution, that's the one that looks freaking amazing, while all the others are just like either look way too similar to the original Pokemon, or just underwhelming in some other way. But alas, rambling. I guess we're so close to the end of the time for this instance, we can at least see if we got a last minute shiny. Honestly, I want to have hope, but this Shuckle's probably the last thing I'm getting off this thing. It's a shame, because like I said, I really didn't need more shiny Skarmory's game. Like, one new shiny bug. There's so many options, there's so many options I didn't get from the initial release of that shiny, that you could just throw me a bone and, like, give me one more Pokemon. Nope. Well, a lot of cool stuff happened today, but it's almost 11:30. I'm gonna bid you all adieu for now, and hope that I don't completely hate myself when I'm trying to edit all these individual parts together in the morning. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I'm sorry if, like, I got a little bit deeper into certain topics than I want, but, like, I do got big hopes for the future. If not with YouTube, but with this ideal dream world that I've been building up in my head for so long. And I hope to share more of it in the future. Until we meet again, though, take care.